Now here the question number 21. A vehicle sounding a whistle of frequency 256 Hz is moving on a straight road towards a hill with a velocity of 10 meters per second. The number of beats per second observed by the person traveling in the vehicle is how much? Velocity of sound is given 330 meters per second. So first of all, given here there is a vehicle which is having the frequency 256 Hz moving with a velocity 10 meters per second towards a hill, and velocity of sound is given 330 meters per second. And which one we want to calculate? Number of beats per second. So first of all we will calculate apparent frequency heard by observer. So apparent frequency, we know that n dash is equal to v plus v source minus v minus v source into n. So then what happens here? This is 330 plus 10, velocity 10, divided by 330 minus 10 into frequency 256. Here 340 divided by 320 into 256, and calculation of that 272 Hz. So which one we want to calculate here? Number of beats per second observed by person is equal to, that is 272 Hz minus 256 Hz. Here final, here initial. So the subtraction of those two, we are getting number of beats per second, that is 16. So which option is correct here? Option D is correct. Now the question number 22. A transverse wave propagating on a stretched string of linear density 3 into 10 to the power of minus 4 kilogram meter to the power of minus 1 is represented by the equation y equal to 0.2 into sine 15x plus 60t, where x in meters and t in seconds. The tension in the string in Newton is how much? So first of all, what are the given values? So here y is equal to 0.2 sine 15x plus 60t, but here linear density is given mu is equal to 3 into 10 to the power of minus 4 kg per meter, and here we are comparing this equation with the y equal to a sine omega t plus kx. So from this, omega is equal to 60 radians per second, here k is equal to, that is 1.5. This is k is equal to 1.5. But here which one we want to calculate? First, velocity. V is equal to omega by k. So what is omega here? 60 divided by k means how much? 1.5. So that is nothing but 40 meters per second. But here which one we want to calculate here? Tension required. So that means velocity of wave v is equal to square root over t divided by mu, that is linear density. Squaring on both sides, v square is equal to t by m, and tension T is equal to m into v square. So here we know m means what is that? 3 into 10 to the power of minus 4, and that speed, velocity, we calculated now here 40. So that means 40 whole square. On simplification of this one, we are getting 0.48 newtons. So which option is correct here? This is option B correct. Now the question number 23. Assertion. Propagation of light through an optical fiber is due to TIR taking place at the core and clad interface. So reason. Refractive index of material of core of the optical fiber is greater than that of air. So here what happens? A. Propagation of light through optical fiber is due to total internal reflection taking place in between core and cladding. So that means that is absolutely right. Reason. Refractive index of material of the core and the optical fiber is greater than that of air. This is also absolutely right. But reason is not sufficient for the assertion. So that means A and R are true, but R is not the correct explanation of A. So the option B is correct. Now the question number 24. The focal length of an equiconvex lens is greater than the radius of curvature of any of the surfaces, then the refractive index of material of lens is how much? So here this is equiconvex lens. Equiconvex lens means radius 1, radius 2 is equal to R. But here R1 is equal to plus R and R2 is equal to minus R. So we know the lens formula 1 by F is equal to mu minus 1 into 1 by R1 minus 1 by R2. So here then what happens in this case here? 1 by F is equal to mu minus 1 times 1 by R plus 1 by R. So that means what happens here? 1 by F is equal to mu minus 1 into 2 by R. So F is equal to R divided by 2 times mu minus 1. But here one thing we have to remember. What is that? Focal length is less than R. Then what happens here? So 2 times mu minus 1 is less than 1. So that means mu minus 1 is less than 1 by 2. Mu minus 1 is less than 1 by 2 is nothing but 0.5. Mu is less than 0.5 plus 1, that is 1.5. So one thing remember, if F is positive, mu can't be negative. That means mu greater than 0 and mu less than 1.5. So mu is greater than 0 and mu is less than 1.5. Which option is correct here? Option A is correct. Now the question number 25. Fraunhofer lines are produced by the absorption of light in A. Chromosphere of the sun, B. Photosphere of the sun, C. Sodium and D. Hydrogen. So which option is correct here? The chromosphere of sun is correct. Now the question number 26. A ray of light of wavelength lambda is passing through a pinhole of diameter D and effect is observed on the screen placed at a distance L from the pinhole. The approximations of the geometric optics are applicable if. What is this condition? So first of all, here there is a pinhole and the wavelength lambda which is passing through the pinhole of diameter capital D, and here there is a screen is placed. The distance between pinhole to the screen, that is taken as capital L. So that means lambda, D and L. That means wavelength, diameter of hole and the distance between pinhole to the screen is given like this. So here geometric optics are applicable. Geometric optics are applicable. When that is applicable, let us consider A square divided by Z lambda is greater than 1, or otherwise Z lambda divided by A square less than 1. But one thing remember here, A is equal to this diameter of the pinhole and Z is equal to distance between pinhole to the screen. So now we are substituting here. Z means L lambda divided by D square, that is less than 1. So that means less than 1 is nothing but which option is correct here? Option C is correct. Now the question number 27. With a standard rectangular bar magnet of length and breadth, the breadth is less than length and the magnetic moment M, the time period of magnet in a vibration magnetometer is 48. If the magnet is cut normal to its length into 4 equal parts, The time period in seconds with one of the pieces is how much? So with a standard regular bar magnet of length and breadth. So that means here the magnetic moment, the time period, first I will write the time period T is equal to 2 pi times square root over I divided by m into h. So first of all, T1 is equal to 4 seconds, but T2 we have to calculate. Then I1, that means I1 means what is that? Moment of inertia initially. That I1 is equal to ml square divided by 12, and then I2 is equal to, what happens in I2 is nothing but, that I2 is nothing but that magnet is making into 4 pieces. So that means m divided by 4 and L divided by 4 whole square and divided by 12. And magnetic moment m1 is equal to m, and magnetic moment m2 is equal to m by 4. This is very important one. So now we have to substitute in all these ones by using this relation. So that means what happens here? Initially T1 is equal to 2 pi times square root over I1 divided by m1 into h1, and T2 is equal to 2 pi times square root over I2 divided by m2 into h2. Then what I will write here in this case? So remember this one h1 h2, that we will take this one as, we will take that one. Now here T1 divided by T2 is equal to square root over 2 pi cancel. I1 is nothing but m into L square by 12 into m by, that is I by, this is here m into h, no, that's here m by 4 divided by m by 4 into L by 4 whole square divided by 12 into capital M. So T1 is nothing but 4 divided by T2 is equal to square root over m into L square by 12 into m by 4 divided by m L square by 64 into 12 into capital M. Here 4 by T2 is equal to square root over m L square divided by 12 into m by 4 into 1 by m into 64 into 12 divided by m L square. M L square cancel, and m gets cancelled. The remaining here 4 by T2 is equal to square root over 64 into 12 divided by 12 into 4. That means what happens here? 12 cancel, here 4 16s are. So that means 4 divided by T2 is equal to square root over 16 by 1. Here T2 is equal to 4 divided by 4 is nothing but 1 second. So the option is C correct. Now the question number 28. If two identical bar magnets each of length L, pole strength M and magnetic moment M are placed perpendicular to each other with unlike poles in contact, the magnetic moment of the combination is how much? So first of all, this is one bar magnet, North Pole and South Pole, and it is another bar magnet, it is South Pole and North Pole, which are placed perpendicular to each other, unlike poles are placing like this. Then here length of each bar magnet is taken as, that is small l, and what about this length here? 90 degrees here, and theta is equal to 90 degrees, and there we want to calculate the magnetic length, that we will take this one as a root 2 into L. But here magnetic moment capital M is equal to M into 2L. So when it is placed like this, no, M times, what about 2L is equal to root 2 into L. So that means what is the answer here? Root 2 times M into L. So which option is correct here? Root 2 into M into L. So option B is correct. Now the question number 29. A 4 microfarad capacitor is charged by a 200 volts battery. It is then disconnected from the supply and connected to another uncharged 2 microfarad capacitor. During the process, loss of energy in joules is how much? So first of all, C1 is equal to 4 microfarads is nothing but 4 into 10 to the power of minus 6 farads, and it is connected to the V1 is equal to 200 volts, and C2 is the another microfarad, that is 2 microfarad capacitor, 2 into 10 to the power of minus 6 farad, which is connected to the uncharged. So uncharged is nothing but V2 is equal to 0 volts. Then during this process, what is the loss of energy? Initially it is connected to the battery, then afterward disconnected and connected to the uncharged one. That means it is not charged. So then what is the loss of energy? So first of all, here loss of energy is equal to initial energy minus final energy. So how you will calculate in this one? So when capacitor connected to uncharged capacitor, then what happens here? V is equal to C1 V1 plus C2 V2 divided by C1 plus C2. So now we will take the common potential for this. C1 V1 is nothing but initially 4 into 200 into 10 to the power of minus 6 divided by 4 plus 2 into 10 to the power of minus 6. Both are gets cancelled. This is 800 by 6 volts. This is common potential. So that means when it is disconnected from the supply, then this one. So here loss of energy. Initial energy, what is that here? Half C1 V1 square minus half C1 plus C2 into V square. So half into C1 4 into 10 to the power of minus 6 into 200 square minus half into 4 plus 2 into 10 to the power of minus 6 into V square, 800 by 6 whole square. So on simplification of this one, we are getting the answer as 2.67 into 10 to the power of minus 2 joules. So which option is correct here? Option B is correct. Now the question number 30. Two charges 2 coulombs and 6 coulombs are separated by finite distance. If a charge of minus 4 coulombs is added to each of them, the initial force of 12 into 10 to the power of 3 newtons will be changed to how much? So initially here 2 coulombs and 6 coulombs are separated by finite distance is nothing but R. There here force F is equal to 12 into 10 to the power of 3 newtons. So that means what about this one here? F is equal to some constant K into 2 coulombs into 6 coulombs divided by R square. This is the equation number 1. This is F1. So this is F1. Then afterwards what happens in this case here? Minus 4 coulombs is added to each. Then what happens here? 2 coulomb minus 4 coulomb and 6 coulomb minus 4 coulomb. This is minus 2 coulombs and 2 coulombs are separated with some other distance, that is R. So what about the force? What about the force here? So here minus 2 coulombs and plus 2 coulombs separated with distance R. So what is the force we want to calculate here? That force we will take as F2. F2 is equal to how much here? So that means F2 is equal to some constant K. Here minus 2 into plus 2 divided by R square. This is second one. So then what happens here? 1 divided by 2. That means F1 divided by F2 is equal to So here first what is that here, k into 2 into 6 divided by r square into r square divided by k into minus 2 into 2 r square k cancel, here 2 cancel, f1 divided by f2 is equal to minus 6 divided by 2 is equal to minus 3, f2 is equal to minus 3 into f1 divided by minus 3. So what about f1 is given here, 12 into 10 to the power of 3 newtons minus divided by 3. So how much we are getting, f2 is equal to minus 4 into 10 to the power of 3 newtons. So here we got the negative value. So negative means what is that here, attraction. So that means 4 into 10 to the power of 3 newtons attraction is possible. So which option is correct here? Option D is correct.